Today is super exciting because we are unboxing a tool I have been waiting for, the Pepe Tools Electric Melting Furnace. I'll walk you through what is in the box and fire it up for the very first time. Let's see how it handles melting silver for jewelry casting. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Let's do this. I ordered the Pepe Tools Tilt Pour Electric Melt Furnace 110 volts. Alright, let's open this up. It arrived in a large outer box, and inside that was this secondary box, super well packed. The very first thing I find is the instruction manual. It's an 8-page guide that walks you through setup, usage, and safety. And this is the graphite steering rod. This is what you use to steer your molten metal. This is the power core. My version runs 110 volts, which is perfect for US outlets, and of course they have the option of 220 volts. Now this is the graphite Crucible. Mine is the 1 kilogram version. They do offer 3 kilograms options, but for a small batch jewelry work, this size is perfect. And here is the lid for the furnace. It helps trap heat and keeps the temperature stable. And finally, here it is, the Pepe Tools Electric Melting Furnace. Isn't it beautiful? It's surprisingly lightweight, which I love because I'll be lifting it to pour molten metal. I've been wanting to upgrade my setup for a while, and this feels like the right move. Alright, that's everything that comes in the box. Super easy unboxing, and so far is exactly what I was hoping for. Now let's fire it up for the very first time and melt some silver. I'll walk you through it step by step, so don't go anywhere. Alright, before we get into using the furnace, I want to take a moment to talk about something really important: safety. Let me show you this quick card highlighting the gear I wear when working with high heat. I use safety glasses or a full face shield, a heat-resistant apron, and a good pair of welding gloves. I also wear non-synthetic pants, long sleeves, and leather shoes. Okay, this part of my studio is actually set up in my garage. Up to the top left of this table is my soldering station. That's where I do all my flame work. I keep here my torch and my propane tank. Next to the soldering station is where the Pepe Tools Electric Furnace now lives. And right beside that is my kiln. On the lower shelf of the table, I keep all my safety gear: my face shield, safety mask, heat gloves, and welding gloves. On the wall, here next to the table, I hang a safety blanket. It's right there, easy to grab in case of an emergency. There is a link in the video description to the Pepe Tools website. If you decide to check them out and make a purchase through that link, I receive a small commission at not charged to you. Now let's go into how the Pepe Tools Electric Furnace actually works. I'm going to walk you through 2 simple examples of using molten silver. First, I'll be pouring the molten silver into water to make silver shots that I can use later. And then I'll show you how I pour molten silver into a sand-casted ring mold. I'm not gonna go in deep into the casting process in this video. That deserves its own moment, so I'll save that for another video coming up soon. I'm using scrap silver, including a couple of rings I cast in the past, and larger chunks as well as small pieces. And here is the furnace while it's still off. You might notice I have some ceramic tiles underneath the furnace. That's for extra safety, and I also added some insulating fire bricks behind and on the sides. Place the crucible inside, pop the lid on, plug in the unit and turn it on. You'll see two numbers on the LED screen. The big green number on top is the current temperature of the crucible. The red number underneath is the target temperature you want to reach. Just a heads up, the furnace switches between Celsius and Fahrenheit depending on your voltage. Since I'm using 110 volts here in the United States, the number you see is in Fahrenheit. First thing I do is set my target temperature. It's super simple. Just use the up and down arrows. The maximum temperature it goes is 2102 Fahrenheit or 1150 centigrades. The manual actually has a handy chart with the ideal temperatures for different metals. While it's heating up, go ahead and start loading your crucible, but keep it in the furnace while you do this. Once you have added the metal, put the lid back on to hold in the heat and speed things up. Once it hits the temperature you set, it will maintain it automatically by turning the heater on and off as needed. Good ventilation is super important. If you have a fume extractor, use it. I'm working in my garage, so I've got plenty of airflow and don't need anything extra. As the furnace heats up, the top number will start climbing until it hits the set temperature. And now I'm waiting for the furnace to reach the set temperature. I understand the first time I use the furnace, there will be a good amount of smoke coming out of it. So I open the garage door just in case. However, the amount of smoke is really small, as you can see here. And it is also very clean smoke. Of course, I have small amounts of metal, and my silver was very clean. And that's the basic rundown of how I use the Pepe Tools furnace. Next up, I'll show you the two melts in action, silver chats and the sand casted rim pour. After everything's melted, I'm ready to pour. Since I want to make silver chat, I pour the molten silver into an aluminum bucket filled with water. To make smaller or more elongated shots, I stir the water before pouring. And make sure your pouring container is set at a safe distance. You don't want to be figuring this out in the middle of the pour. And now I'm ready to pour the molten silver for the sand cast. I've already set up my equipment by placing fire bricks around the mold to keep everything safe and secure. I pour the molten silver carefully and all at once in a single smooth motion. When it's time to pour the molten metal, make sure to tilt the furnace carefully to a 90 degrees angle. That's just enough to let the metal flow out smoothly while keeping the crucible securely in place. If you tilt it past straight angle, the crucible can slip off, which can be dangerous. The casting looks perfect so far, but we're not going to get into the details of that part today. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I would love to know if this video was helpful for you and what videos you would like to see in the future. So please write in the comments below and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out these videos on the screen right now for more jewelry making techniques. So thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.